Ed Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about Doctor Who, The Flux, Season 13, Episode 2, and my thoughts on this episode. Not a great episode. There were some things I liked, but my main problem is I think they're doing something pretty fucking bad now, because it's been 2 episodes, and everything I'm seeing is leading to something that's going to be a slap into the face of all Doctor Who fans. I think they're going to say the Doctor's where she's from. I think they're going to say she's Mauryan. There's nothing else. It's all pointing that way. We find out about this time species. Again, it's a fucking copy of the Time Lords that Chibnall has just switched to another race that now controls time. So what this show is now doing is just replacing the fucking Time Lords with Mauryans. That is just fucking stupid. Now what I think they're doing this for is they're trying to fix the Timeless Children without getting rid of the Timeless Children. And I'm fucking pissed off about it. Because I'm never gonna fucking accept the Doctor's fucking Mauryan. She's a fucking Time Lord. Literally where it all started. But Chibnall has already shown that he wants to destroy Doctor Who, so why not just destroy everything? So the Time Lords are no longer the masters of time anymore because it's now gone to a new race. I'm pissed off. Because there was no need for any of this. No need at all. And just the disrespect to the Doctor Who franchise that this cunt is doing pisses me off. And the BBC couldn't give a shit. Oh, and we already found out last week's ratings. Yeah, they're pretty fucking bad. Now some people are going to say 3 million people watching Doctor Who. That's a big number. Not Doctor Who numbers. It's usually 5 million, 6 million to 10 million with a fantastic episode. So yeah, Doctor Who's in a major shit show right now. So I'm pretty pissed off. The episode on its own, it was dumb. The Sontarans, why change their uniforms? Again, you've already shown that you don't respect the old Doctor Who fans. So going back to the old Sontaran uniform, are you thinking we're fucking stupid? Like, we know you don't respect us. You've already shown that, Chibnall. So going back and trying to, use the very old Sontaran armour to think you're giving respect to old Doctor Who whilst pissing on it with this Mauryan shit. No. No, it doesn't fucking work. The uniforms look shit. The new purple-blue uniforms were fucking good. They were great. The Sontarans in this episode, again, we've seen it done better with David Tennant's Doctor Who when the Sontarans attacked Earth the first time. Fucking amazing episode with the cars and the clouds. And, oh my god, just so much respect to that episode after watching this. Chibnall does not know what he's doing. He doesn't understand the Sontarans, and he just can't do fucking sci-fi. It was just dumb. And the officer they had in this show, there's a scene in this episode where I just wanted to fucking punch Chibnall. Just the disrespect and the embarrassment of this actor in this one scene. It pissed me off. And Jodie Whittaker is just not likable. She's just not likable. I'm sorry. There's nothing there with her and her character playing the Doctor. There's nothing there. She's no good at it. Thank fuck she's leaving, because my god, there's nothing there with her. There's no great traits. There's no interesting scene that she's a part of. She's just annoying to watch. This entire episode, there was stuff that could have been good if they had writ it better. This episode was also the perfect time to reintroduce Unit. This was the perfect episode to do that. Because apparently a unit's coming back, and they're coming back as an actual unit. Not the fucking pussy unit that they've been in for a long time, led by the scientist. The military side of Unit, which was the best side of it. Which was the reason it was fucking made. To fight the aliens. Not fucking study them. But, yeah. Episode on its own. Without the Centaurans, without the Doctor, I am interested in Swarm, the bad guy. I mean, again, he seems like an interesting bad guy. I mean, the clothes he wears are fucking laughable and very fucking out there, let's say. But we have a random guy joined it. I'll get into that in spoilers, but yeah, Swarm, he's interesting. But that's only because I don't know that much about him and I want to know more. And I couldn't give a shit about his sister either. But other than that, there's nothing really good in this episode. If you're not watching Doctor Who anymore, fucking, you are lucky bastards, because yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing good other than Swarm, and maybe a returning character. That dog thing came back. Yeah, he was funny. I mean, he's kind of growing on me, but that's about it. But other than that, a waste of time. A real waste of time. Like, Doctor Who has really fallen to shit. To the shittest levels. Let's go into spoilers now. So the episode is about the Sontarans invading Earth. Apparently, they've decided to invade Earth in 2 points because it's a temporal assault. So they're attacking from 2 time points. And one time point is the Crimean War, and the other time point is 2021. It looked like an interesting story to have the Sontarans attacking Britain in 2 times. I kind of wanted to see a battle between the Sontarans and the British Empire. I thought it would look interesting, but they didn't stay long enough on the battles to make it look interesting, and having the British Army just get completely wiped out. Yes, the Sontarans have lasers, but I mean, a part of this episode, they show that Sontarans can still be killed by the British Army's weapons. So having it just be a slaughter on one side, I mean, you could have it be a slaughter, but a slaughter that made, the Sontarans lost a lot as well. Yeah, but basically the story was about the Sontarans invading Earth from 2 time points. So the Doctor is thrown out of her TARDIS after the flux. She thinks she stopped it. Apparently that's not happened. She's just stopped the first wave or something. So she's arrived on Earth. She finds out it's the Crimea because they bump into Mary Seacole. Now, Mary Seacole is a famous woman who went to the Crimean War to help British soldiers. Now, there is a lot of crap with this because some people say she was a nurse. Other people say she was a woman who went there to make her money. I think she went there to help British soldiers, but also to make money. I don't think there's anything wrong with having her in this episode. I don't understand why some people have a problem with it. Listen, she's a fucking historical character, and I thought she was fine in this episode. The actress, fine all the way through, no problems there. So the Doctor finds out she's in the Crimean War. She finds out that the British Empire are not fighting the Russian Empire because this Crimean War was basically Britain fighting the Russians. It turns out Sontarans have taken over Russia and China for some reason and are now having a war with each other. The Doctor then loses Yaz and Bishop, and they get taken different parts of time. John Bishop goes back to Liverpool, and Yaz goes to this mysterious place called the planet Time. He has a planet called Time. That's how fucking creative Chibnall is. Jesus. I'm just going to wrap this up pretty quickly. So, the Doctor pretty much, her entire part of this is pretty much to stop the British Army from attacking the Sontarans because she knows they're going to get slaughtered. She fails in that regard, and the British Army fight the Sontarans and do get absolutely slaughtered. She finds the Sontarans' hidden base. She has Mary Seacole with her so she can watch the Sontarans and make sure that it's clear for the Doctor's end plan, because this is what she was planning all the way through, I think. There was this one scene between her and the commander of the British Army after the battle, and it was just such an uncomfortable scene for me. He comes in like a pathetic child crying to the Doctor, and it was just, you could have done this scene so much better. Listen, having the general, crying like a bitch is just massive disrespect to his character and to, I think, a lot of like British officers. Like, yes, I've been in the British Army. There are cunts, but that's just disrespectful. Like, you could have had the general come into the camp, like, with, full of grief that he led his men to a slaughter, and the Doctor could have came over and comforted him. But the way they did it in this episode, having him beg the Doctor for help, just absolute bullshit to me. And it's just an insult, and it's basically just an insult to men. I'm sorry, that's the only way I saw it. Because all the way through this episode, the Doctor just seems to attack the men. Because, I don't know, that's the way the BBC is right now. Again, you could have done this episode better, having a general, yes, be an officer, be over, the top, like, not wanting to surrender, like the Sontaran commander. Having a scene between her and him, and the Sontaran general, and the Doctor saying, you're both literally alike, you're both commanding officers, and you both want a victory here. You could have had an epic scene like that in this episode, but you never did. There was a scene between the commander of the British Army and the fucking Sontaran commander, but it was just the Doctor just acting like a cunt in the middle of the battlefield, thinking that she can control everything. And yes, the commander of the British Army points a gun at her and takes her away, but it was just a stupid scene that could have been done so much better, but it wasn't. So the Doctor's part of this episode is literally her stopping the Sontarans, and at the end of her run, the commander figures out that these ships can explode, and he puts dynamite with all the ships and blows them all up, and the Doctor gets pissed off because she had organised them to retreat, and they were retreating, but the general decided to blow them all up. And that's the end of the Doctor's part of this episode. I'm just getting through it quick. Yaz's part of this episode was going to the Maurians planet and bumping into Vinder. They are this machine thing keeps asking, do you repair, because they need to repair this place because it's where time is controlled, because apparently time is a dangerous weapon. So they need, this machine is asking them to repair it so that, time doesn't get destroyed. So Vinder and Yaz try to fix it, but they can't fix it. Then arrives Swarm and his sister and some random big fella, and they come into the room. The sister keeps melting the robots. The robots then recognize who he is and see the danger, try to stop him, but they can't. And and Yaz gets captured by Swarm. Vinder tries to attack Swarm, but Swarm just disappears, jumps from place to place, and Vinder and Yaz get both captured and put into the machine, which is the end of their episode. John Bishop's part of this episode, he goes back to Liverpool, finds out Liverpool has been invaded, the whole world has been invaded by the Sontarans, and he gets saved by his parents when he gets chased by Sontarans. Apparently, they can just knock Sontarans out, by the back of the head thing, which is basically copied from David Tennant's episode. I get it. I know it's the law thing, but still, it could have been a lot better than having two old people knocking out a bunch of Sontarans. I mean, anyway, John Bishop tries to sneak into the shipyards, Liverpool shipyards, to try and sneak onto the ships. He sees an execution going on with the Sontarans killing spies in the docks. The Sontarans start chanting Sontar. I do think they're getting that wrong. The Sontarans don't just shout it all the bloody time. They're not that deluded. They only shout it when it counts. So again, Chibnall's just using this too much. Like, Sontarans do say Sontar, but it's a lot more tribal. It's a lot more rare. He did it way too much, in my opinion. Again, what they should have done this episode is had UNIT come in to attack the shipyards. Again, this is what UNIT's supposed to do. If an alien invade a planet, they usually attack them. Perfect time to bring UNIT back into Doctor Who. Perfect time to show that UNIT is no longer a science unit anymore. They're a military unit again. Having them attack the ships would have been fucking epic, in my opinion, if they did it right. But they didn't. They had the dog come back and help John Bishop destroy the shipyards by ramming one of the Sontaran ships into all the other Sontaran ships. And that was the end of John Bishop's part of this episode. So the episode ends on with Swarm capturing the Doctor and showing what he's done to Yaz and Vinda, and pretty much he's about to kill Yaz by making time go all the way through her and killing her that way. And then the episode ends. Not a great episode. The Doctor's origin is going to be confirmed in this series. I mean, in this season, it's definitely going to happen. And it's very fucking disrespectful to Doctor Who. Because they're taking the Time Lords out completely now from Doctor Who. The Time Lords are useless now. That's why I think Chibnall killed them. I think he's going to make it a female group. The Maurians. They're confirming that the first Doctor is going to be a woman. And that's bullshit. Because the first Doctor was not a woman. It was a man. Fucking get over it. Fucking terrible episode. I'm absolutely fucking pissed what they're doing with Doctor Who right now. And I have no hope for the series. And the BBC, again, bring back who you like. This is a dumpster fire that you are just never going to fix unless you get rid of Time as Children. But we're 2 episodes in and it's just not going to happen. That's the end of my review. If you like this review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike, and do think about subscribing if you like my content. Hail the Phantom Menace, long live CG, fuck SJWs. Bye.